What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, successes? Welcome to another episode of Speak Your Success in the Morning. And y'all, I'm so glad to be here with you today. Do you understand me? All right, today is January 29th, 2026. And I'm so glad that y'all had the opportunity. Y'all have the time. Y'all have the privilege to be here with us. All right, y'all. So if this is your first time tapping in with Speak Your Success, this is Speak Your Success in the Morning. And we're here Monday through Friday, every single morning, rocking with you, bringing you a little bit of education, bringing you a little bit of entertainment, bringing you a little bit of empowerment. And the reason why is because we know that it's necessary and essential for us to be able to move forward, be able for us to grow, be able for us to elevate. We need that little bit of boost. We need that little bit of fuel. We need what we need to keep going and keep on moving. All right. So family, I'm two times TEDx speaker and best-selling author Jonathan Jones. And today I want to get into some of this content. But first, before we even do that, I want to we like to do this little exchange in the beginning of the show where we always talk about what we had for dinner last night. Okay. And last night for dinner, what we had on this side, so my wife calls these ghetto nachos, to where we will take some tortilla chips, we'll put some shredded cheese over them, and then we'll heat them up for a second. We'll nuke them, and then we have ghetto nachos, right? So my wife made it's something like chili the other day, and dropped some of that in the bowl. I shredded some cheese with a little with the shredder, and then melted that cheese over that thing because I like a good bowl of nachos. And then what we do, I put some of those blue corn tortilla chips on there. And then we made that thing do what it do. So last night, that's what we had for dinner. We had a little bit of nachos and made that action move, made that action shake. But also last night I had a corn brisket, and last night I began to prepare it so that it can turn into some pastrami. And I don't know if y'all have had pastrami lately, or I don't know if you've ever had pastrami, period. But that's one of those dishes to where, or that's one of those proteins, one of those meats to where I like to go and I like to make it. And then after we make it, I'll stack me up a big old pastrami sandwich. And then it has that right amount of spice. You got a little bit of sweetness on there when you really season it up the way you're supposed to be seasoned up. And if y'all know what I'm talking about with that pastrami sandwich, go ahead and drop something in the chat if you feel me on that. But anyway, y'all, so I made that last night. It's been sitting in the kitchen at about lunchtime today. It's going to have sat in the fridge for about 10 hours or 12 hours. And then it's going to be ready for us to slice, put on some bread, pair it with some French fries, maybe something else. But either way, that's going to be delicious. All right. That's going to be delicious. So now I'm going to go ahead and get ready to transition to our time to what we call Straight from the Source. And today, Straight from the Source, we're going to be in the book of Luke. We're going to be in the book of Luke, and it's going to be Luke chapter 9, verses 57. I'm going to read down just a little bit to get into our content here today. But the text reads, all right, and this is talking a little bit about discipleship. And the text today reads, as they were going on the road, someone said to him, and this is, as they're going on the road, someone said to Jesus, right? Jesus is going to have a few conversational exchanges here in the text, but let's go ahead and break it down. So as they were going on the road, someone said to him, I will follow you wherever you go. And Jesus said to him, the foxes have holes and the birds of the sky have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. All right. So one guy saying, Jesus, I'm going to follow you. And then Jesus is like, well, I got some bars for you real quick. I just want you to know this is what that will require. Right. Let's keep on going. And he said to another, right, this is the second conversation, follow me. But he said, Lord, permit me first to go and bury my father. Jesus said, come on, follow me. I'm trying to take you somewhere. I'm trying to help you get to where you're trying to go. But then they say, but Jesus, wait, right? But I got to do this. But I got to go bury my father. But he said, verse 60, but he said to him, allow the dead to bury their own dead. But as far for you, Go and proclaim everywhere the kingdom of heaven, right? Then another said, I will follow you, Lord, but first permit me to say goodbye to those at my home. But Jesus said to him, no one, after putting his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of God. All right. So this is Luke chapter 9, verses 57 through 62, or 60, yes, through 62. There's a few things I want to break down here in the text. A few things that I want to break down. Okay. First and foremost, as you see in this conversation with Jesus, he's letting us know a few things. Okay. He's letting us know. Okay, so the first guy comes off a little bit overconfident, right? The guy who's saying, I'm gonna sign up, Jesus. I'm down. I'm down to follow you. I'm down to be a disciple. But he's a little overconfident because he doesn't know exactly what it requires, right? Jesus is saying, well, do you know what you're signing up for? Okay, because this person has a romantic idea of what discipleship could mean and could look like, right? But Jesus is trying to let him know when he says the foxes have dens or the foxes have holes and the birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Jesus is saying following him isn't exactly glamorous, okay? It's not stable. It's not comfortable. Jesus is Jesus is painting the picture for this man to see that this illusion that following him and being a follower of Christ is easy is not the case here, right? He wants to make sure that this gentleman understands what comes with this agreement, right? And then the second gentleman, he says, well, Lord, let me bury my father first, right? That sometimes can be dangerous, not sometimes, but that can be dangerous when we're saying, God, I'm ready to follow you. I'm ready to surrender my life to you. God, take my heart. You can have it. I want to follow you. But in the same respect, right? So Jesus is telling him that it's about priority and it's about urgency. Let the dead bury their own dead, but you go and proclaim the kingdom of God. Burying my father likely meant, well, I got some family obligations I got to do. I got some stuff that I got to settle. It's pushing off the agreement. But Jesus is saying, no, 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 no. We don't postpone, we don't delay obedience. Delayed obedience often feels responsible, but it's still delayed. I once heard it said before that delayed obedience is still disobedience, and that's what that's what person number two was saying in their conversation. Like, Jesus, I wanna do this, I wanna do that, I wanna follow you, but let me get my life right first, and then let me come and follow you. Y'all, that's not how this Christian walk works. Right? When we come to God, we don't have to clean ourselves up. When we come and submit ourselves to following Jesus, he's not asking us to clean ourselves up. He's saying, come as you are. And then that's the process of sanctification, to where he is doing the work on your heart. He is helping you alter those habits. He is shifting and changing and ultimately helping you become what a disciple looks like. It's not you doing the work. Jesus did the work when he died on the cross. And now following him, he's the only one who can change our hearts, and he's the only one who can help us shift our minds. We can't do that on our own. And then person number three, right? This is the person who's like divided. They said, I'll follow you. I'll follow you, Lord, but first let me go back and let me say goodbye to my family. And this part is interesting to me because I know the way influence works, and I know the influence that people can have on somebody, right? Because there have been many times in my life to where I've said, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop being promiscuous, right? Like, whatever it was, the decision that I would make, I would say, I'm going to stop. And then people would say, well, John, why? Or John, no, you're not. John, you can't do that. You've been doing this, this, and this. And now you're saying that you're just going to stop. Now you're saying you're going to change. No, you're not. Right? So the thing about this part is being around those people, and God puts a message on your heart. God tells you something to do and gives you orders to carry out. These people will help you become divided. Right? Divided. The Bible says an unstable man is divided in all his ways. So if we think about that, and we're looking in this instance at this conversation with the third follower, the undivided or the divided follower, and Jesus says, no one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God. Looking back to the plow in a spiritual sense means nostalgia, right? It's second guessing. It's 1 foot out, 1 foot in. And Jesus isn't rejecting somebody loving their family, right? Let's not get that out of context. But he's rejecting a split allegiance. Jesus doesn't want half your heart. He doesn't want your heart on Sundays. He wants the whole thing. He wants all of you, the good, bad, the ugly, the indifferent. He wants you all. He loves you all. So the big picture that Jesus is ultimately teaching through these 5 verses here is that faith is not just the vibe. It's ultimate surrender, right? It's not the hype. It's the realism. The second part is it's all about urgency. It's not about someday, right? I heard it said before that there's 7 days in the week, and someday isn't one of them. The kingdom isn't waiting for a perfect season, and so often we wait. Well, someday I will. No. Is it going to be Sunday? Is it going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday? Maybe Saturday. Pick one, but someday isn't in that lineup. And then the last part is focus. Focus, right? Focus is not divided loyalty, because you can't move forward looking backward. And if you actually try to do it, it always slows you down. If you try to walk forward and you're constantly looking behind you, trying to see what's happening, that's why in the scary movies, when people are running, they're always looking back. It always slows them down, and then they always get caught. We've seen it, right? Time and time again. So the thing that I wanted to really get to here is, well, I want to hit on the previous verse just before this passage that Luke hits on in Luke 9:51, and he's letting us know that Jesus is setting out for Jerusalem, right? Because Jesus knows that the cross ultimately is coming. And he says, if you follow me, you're following me all the way, okay? Not half, not partial, not all. Well, all. So the question becomes, which one are you most like right now? All right? Are you the overconfident follower, the one that's underestimating the cost? Jesus, I'll follow you, but not taking the time to process like what comes with this ask? Or are you the delayed follower, waiting for the right time, trying to squeeze it in, trying to make it make sense here, make it make sense there, everywhere? Or maybe you're the divided follower. You're looking back as you're trying to move forward. Family, just take some time and just assess where you are. Because if we never assess where we are, we can never determine where we can go, how we can elevate, how we can move forward, how we can grow. But I'm Jonathan Jones, and that has been straight from the source. If you enjoyed this content, and also if you don't want to miss any of our episodes, just make sure that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button here on Speaker Success Media on our YouTube channel. If you enjoy listening to our audio experience, then you can also type in Speak Your Success in the morning, and you can be able to hear us wherever you get your podcast, right? Apple, Spotify, iHeart, all the whole situation, right? You can get all that everywhere. But family, now we're going to get ready to shift gears and get ready to transition. And one thing I wanted to just talk about really quick for a quick moment today is the fact that in 2026, I believe that you are ultimately one connection away from you doing the thing that you always desired to do. And the reason why I'm using the language of one connection is because I'm pro LinkedIn, y'all. Like, I'm so pro LinkedIn. Like, I should be a LinkedIn ambassador, okay? And I hired a guy maybe almost 10 years ago at this point. His name is YB, Rob Youngblood, okay? YB, the LinkedIn locksmith, the LinkedIn connector. As far as I'm concerned, he's my LinkedIn guru, okay? He's worked with many, many people. He's helped people like Dr. Eric Thomas, a.k.a. E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. He's helped your podcast mentor, Jonathan Jones, and I mean, so many other people I can't even name. But the reason why I want to shout out Rob in this quick segment is because I had a call yesterday, right? Me and this young lady have been going back and forth, and we were supposed to get on a call like a month or so ago, and we've been connected on Instagram. And I'm like, hey, coach, I'd love to chat with you. I'd love to hear what you have going on. Then we proceeded to have a conversation, right? We got on a call. And then after me listening to the great things that she's doing and the amazing way that she is really positioning herself, then she was like, well, Jonathan, well, tell me about you. Like, how you think I can help you? Like, what does that look like? And then I was like, well, honestly, hearing some of the stuff that you shared, I feel that I can be a resource to you and to your college and, you know, to some of the organizations that you're working with. And she said, well, you know, that's great, John. And then she proceeded to mention a guy's name. And I was like, okay. She said, Jonathan, I'll connect y'all, but I just think this would be a conversation that needs to go forward, right? I would think that this would be a great connection for you both. I think y'all have a good conversation. I said, okay, cool. So after mentioning this guy's name, I reached out to him and connected with him on LinkedIn 5 minutes after we were on the call. Later, not even 7 minutes, he accepted my request. And then from that point, he said, Jonathan, I'm in the middle of classes right now, but I would love for us to continue to have this conversation. Speaking of what the coach said, that she felt some synergy we would have. And then after hearing him share what he had going on, he said, Jonathan, I looked at your experience. I looked at what you have on LinkedIn. I think you can help us here. I think you can help us around our curriculum. I think you could give us some insight. I see that you built out some curriculum. I see you work with some curriculum and have some experience. So I would love if you can put your eyes on this. Some of you might be like, John, what's the point of this story? John, where are you going? John, why is this valuable? Well, one is valuable because he let me know that in March or April, you know, he would like to see if I was available to come out and speak to his group, come down and do a paid speaking opportunity. And after that conversation, I said to myself, well, people need to know that they can use LinkedIn to leverage what they want out of this life, okay? And I'm saying that because y'all on LinkedIn, like I said it on yesterday's show, and if you didn't catch it, you should go back and listen to it. But I said on yesterday's show that LinkedIn has a variety of courses that you can get into and you can learn from, and you can be able to extract information to where you even can get certificates and different levels of certifications on the platform. But y'all, LinkedIn has opportunity and space to where you can list off your experiences. What have you done in the past for this client, right? How have other clients shown what you can do? But even beyond that, what have other clients said about you? You can also list and include that in your LinkedIn profile. This is valuable information Because why? Because it allows you to set yourself up and position yourself as the authority of a space. And when you're the authority in a space, this is when people want to pay you. People will pay you all based off of who you have become, right? If somebody looked at my LinkedIn profile, what will they see? They'll see that I've hosted a podcast for just under 10 years. They'll see that I've developed curriculum. They'll see that I've spoke at a number of universities. These are things that they will see. And then from them seeing these things, this will build credibility for Jonathan Jones, and it can do the same thing for you. But we have to get to a space and a place to where we begin to utilize platforms and we begin to use social media as tools, and to where we began to leverage social media as business media. One of my early business coaches, Kendall Fickling, said to me, he said, we got to use social media as business media. See, a lot of us on here, we're just being social. We're scrolling down, we're being social. We're laughing, we're connecting, we're talking with people. We're just being social. When at the end of the day, social media, right? Fun. Ha ha ha. We're entertained by it. Business media, we're looking to leverage it to where we can further our lives and further our businesses, further our goals, further our dreams. So you're one connection away, y'all. And now more than ever before, we need to start leveraging things from a business lens. Somebody asked me the other day on Threads. They said, John, when did you begin to shift the way that you podcasted? I said, I began to shift it after about that time. I was podcasting for 2 years. I said, it's time for me to do something different. It said, I enjoy podcasting. I still do to the day. It's fun. But at the same time, after doing it for about 2 years, I said I had to start to shift it and to get clear and to say, well, how can I make this thing make money? How can I really leverage this thing to where I can get to where I'm trying to go, to where I can do what I'm trying to do? And that's when my perspective shifted on podcasting. So family, I want you all today to begin to reflect. What are you doing that has been fun, but now it's to the point to where it needs to bring you in some funds, okay? To where we have to look at something, we have to make it do what it do. We got to make it generate some revenue, got to make it generate some bread, or have to make it at least to where it positions us as an authority. And when we're positioned as an authority, that's when we begin to really win. And that's when we begin to really elevate. All right. So just wanted to give y'all that quick message. Man, shout out to my guy, Rob Youngblood. Okay. Like I said before, he's the one who put me on to LinkedIn. And since then, not only have I been able to generate upwards of, $30,000 from LinkedIn. And that happened, fairly recently. And it didn't actually take that long. It was like in less than 3 months. Okay. But even in addition to that, I've also, worked with Baylor and taught a session on LinkedIn, and also then had the opportunity to work with the University of Texas and teach a session on LinkedIn. And since then, I've been not only teaching a little bit about LinkedIn, but I've been continuing to practice what I preach. I've been connecting with other people, and I've been pouring into other people about LinkedIn. If people see me coming, they know I'm going to tell them they need to do 2 things. The first thing is I'm going to say you need to start a podcast. And if you would like, I would love to, help you out there, because right now we're giving out free access to getpaidwithpodcasting.com. All right. Getpaidwithpodcasting.com, the only podcasting training that not only shows you how to podcast, but shows you how to build your authority by also helping you begin to generate speaking opportunities and being able to book your first TEDx, right? So go to getpaidwithpodcasting.com, sign up for your free 7-day trial there, and learn more about what that could look like for you. But then also, I'm going to tell people that they need to have a LinkedIn profile, all right? Got to have a LinkedIn profile, because if you do not have a LinkedIn profile, then you are currently losing, all right? You're currently losing. But now what I want to get ready to transition to, I want to get ready to now transition to da 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 da. I want to talk a little bit about the Pro Bowl. If you have heard about the Pro Bowl or if you knew about the Pro Bowl, well, this is something that I feel has been losing a lot of interest as of late. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because, y'all, so the Pro Bowl for me growing up, I remember they used to have the super cool uniforms and the cool jerseys and everything like that. But people used to watch the Pro Bowl and they actually used to play a game. Like they would like tackle. But now the Pro Bowl has become, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it because not many people even watch the Pro Bowl these days. But so the Pro Bowl game, it was supposed to feature quarterbacks like Drake May from the Patriots, Josh Allen from the Bills, Justin Herbert from the Chargers. But as you see, it says due to injuries and Super Bowl participation, replacements have been included, such as the Browns rookie Shedeur Sanders. And the NFC roster includes Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, and Sam Darnold. Okay. Says, the originals, the OGs, were supposed to be Drake May, Josh Allen, and Justin Herbert. But, with people making the Super Bowl and injuries and the way that football works, right? Now, we're looking at these people that are the replacements. And the NFC, the replacement is Jared Goff. Okay, and he's going to replace Sam Darnold. But the thing that people have been bringing up here has been the fact that with Shedeur Sanders being a replacement in the Pro Bowl, like it's caused a lot of hoopla, right? We know that Shedeur Sanders, who is Deion Sanders' son, right? We know that he was supposed to get drafted in the first round of the NFL draft, right? That's one thing that we all know, we all can agree on. We all will say that. However, him getting drafted in the 5th round, he's been in this trap because he was a 5th round quarterback, but throughout the year, people have been holding him to the standard of a 1st round draft pick. Did he have that capability? Did he have that ability? Yes. Many people agreed. However, the people in the NFL and the commentators and people who share their thoughts and opinions, y'all got to make a decision. If you draft the young man in the 5th round, then hold him to the same standard that you hold every other 5th round drafted pick, which wouldn't be much of a standard, right? But you can't hold him to the standard of a 1st round drafted quarterback if you didn't draft him in the 1st round. Anyway, the thing that I want to talk about here is there's been a lot of noise and people have been saying a lot and people have been critiquing Shedeur Sanders and bringing up the fact that, well, he made it into the Pro Bowl, but he is a replacement quarterback. He made it into the Pro Bowl, but should this carry any weight? And I was watching a conversation last night on the gridiron, and this is Skip Bayless, and you're listening to Von Miller, and you're listening to Ali Talib, and some of these other guys who are former NFL guys, and they're saying they're sharing different perspectives, right? Because Skip Bayless, for one, says, well, yeah, he did make it to the Pro Bowl, but he didn't make it off performance, right? Because he was 3-4, and he didn't really even have the time or the space to really earn the Pro Bowl selection the way that they traditionally do selections, right? There's the fan votes, there's the player votes, there's the fan votes, player votes, the managers vote, right? So there's multiple ways you can get in. But Shedeur not even being able to compete in that way, he didn't even really have that opportunity. However, as I was listening to these former guys play, and they're nothing but respect for these guys. On one hand, you hear guys say, "Well, I was selected firsthand, right? I've never been a replacement." But then on the other hand, you can hear guys like Von Miller say, "Well, either way, he earned the opportunity, right? It doesn't matter how he got it. He's a Pro Bowler. And this is something that, when you list off guys' credentials, you hear him say 4-time Pro Bowl selection, 2-time Super Bowl champion, right? You hear these things listed off. At the end of the day, I believe if he gets out here and he really performs, he really kills, which I think he will, then it won't matter, right? There's going to be some people that try to bring up the fact that, well, no, he was a replacement. Who cares? He's in the Pro Bowl, right? Just like when teams make the Super Bowl, it don't matter if you stumbled, fumbled, or crumbled to the Super Bowl. You're in the Super Bowl. It don't matter. You're there, right? And the other thing that I want to bring to the forefront is the NFL is smart, because the Pro Bowl is not garnering as much attention as it once was in previous years. However, with Shedeur Sanders being on the ballot and being on the roster here, this is going to generate some traction. This is going to help them get some attention. So, man, kudos to Shedeur Sanders. I'm happy for him. The brother has taken a lot of criticism and a lot of critique for no reason at all. My man just wanted the ball, y'all. He just wanted to ball. He didn't ask to be Deion Sanders' son. Did he benefit from being Deion Sanders' son? Yeah, he did a little bit. Yeah. But also he's shown his own right. He has mentors like Tom Brady. He has quarterback coaches he's hired. He's put in the preparation. He's been in the quarterback room. Like, what else do you want from this man? He's respectful. He operates with a high level of character, high level of integrity from what I've seen. And y'all, let bro make it. Like, at the end of the day, he has to get in between those 4 lines and he has to perform. But the way that people have been critiquing him, it's like, bro, what is going on? My man is a rookie quarterback, and he's just wanting to live out his dream. He plays for the Cleveland Browns, and, he's been balling to the best of his ability. Like, at the end of the day, football is a team sport. Yeah, he's the quarterback, so he's one of the leaders of the team, but still, like, give my man his just due. Give him a fair shake. Okay? I'm going to get off that soapbox there. But family, I just want to encourage y'all today. And just like I said, you're literally one LinkedIn connection. You're literally one connection. You're literally one conversation. You're literally one person away from getting and tapping into some of the things that you've dreamed about. But if you never reach out, if you never shoot that shot, if you never have that conversation, you'll never know what's on the other side. All right, family. So I want y'all today, take some time and begin to think in your life, who are some people that either are doing something that you've always wanted to do, that you need to reach out to, you need to connect with, you need to have conversations with? List out those people and then reach out to them, see how they've been doing, see what's been going on, see what's happening. Because you can really make what you want for your life in 2026. But some work is required, family. Work is required. I'm Jonathan Jones, 2-time TEDx speaker and best-selling author. This episode was brought to you by Get Paid with Podcasting, the only podcast program that's giving you the blueprint to build your authority, right? Through podcasting, through TEDx talk training, through speaker training. We got it all in the portal, all right? So go to getpaidwithpodcasting.com today, and you can have your own free 7-day trial. Dive in, check it out, see what it do, and see what it can do for you. Family, speak your success. Believe in your greatness and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why would you and why should you live any other